For source outside my sycamore tree, sing Lord, a green willow. Her hand on her bosom, her head on her knees, sing willow, willow, willow. The fresh streams run by her, and mine sing willow, willow, willow. The salt is for summer and soften the stone. Sing a willow, willow, willow. Ready, hidey, you come on. Sing all the green willow. Must be my darling. Let nobody blame in this scorn I approve.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge for the month of May. We're glad to have people back that are returning. We also have a new member with us here today, Tim. Before we have our first contestant go and spin the wheel, we will go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and give Tim a little bit of time to introduce himself, tell us about how he heard about us, and anything else that we would like to hear. So go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tim Perfect. I'm an actor, director, theater artist in the Twin Cities, Minnesota. I've been performing Shakespeare since I was 18 years old, and I'm happy to be here. I learned about the group through another member, Henry, and yeah, excited to start the challenge.
Okay, well, that's great. We're glad to have you. We will, since I didn't know that you were, I added you to the mailing list to get the link. I didn't know you would make it. A lot of people express an interest and then they don't show up. So I had not put your name on the wheel for the randomly determined order. And it's probably better, you get a chance to see the other people go. I'll have you go last, and then after all the other people. We also have returning members. We have myself, Brannon, Robert, John. Yeah, Robert's in here twice. I don't wonder why. Bill and Maggie. Okay. So let's see. Based on we had actually Maggie is our first up. Henry was going to go first, but so Maggie, let me go and change your banner. You still have your name edited from last week. When you
that's right.
Okay, I went and changed it for you. Okay.
Thanks. Sorry, that's why someone said hello to Theseus.
Maggie. Bill is on deck. We'll go after Maggie, and Maggie is going to perform. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
5, 5. Okay.
Fun to start with.
Yeah. I'm scrolling. I'm not sure it starts with that, correct?
We would start with "She should have died hereafter."
Yeah, right. Hang on.
Act 5. Scene.
Yeah, I have that. It's just it's very short, but okay, good.
Okay, go.
Okay. She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
short, but so beautiful. Okay. Bill, you're up, and then on deck after you is Brannon. Brannon will go after Bill, and Bill is going to perform. From one Macbeth to another.
Okay. 2-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this a dagger which I see before me, the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not a fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument was I to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dungeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one-half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings and withered murder. Alarmed by his sentinel, the wolf, whose howls is watched, thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides, towards his design moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm said earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell. See.
Okay, great. So Brannon, you're up, and then let's see, John. John is on deck. We'll go after Brannon, and Brannon is going to do. Brannon is going to do. Yago. Let's see that says I play the villain. 2 scene 3, it's toward the end. You know when you got
If
it.
I can fasten but one cup upon him.
No, that's late. That's earlier in the scene.
Okay. Some wine, ho.
No, you're getting the part where he's getting Cassio drunk. This is at the end after he's succeeded in getting Cassio dismissed and a plot with Rodrigo.
Okay. All right.
Get it? Okay.
Hmm. You see this fellow that is gone before? He is a soldier fit to stand by Caesar and give directions and do but see his vice. 'Tis to his virtue a just equinox, the one as long as the other. 'Tis pity of him, I fear the trust Othello puts him in. Oh, some odd time of his infirmity will shake this island. 'Tis evermore the prologue to his sleep. He'll watch the horologe a double set, if drink rock not his cradle. How now, Rodrigo? I pray you, after the lieutenant go. Not I. For this fair island I do love Cassio well, and would do much to cure him of this evil. But hark, what noise?
Okay, that wasn't the one I was looking for, but you know, interesting for variety. I'll keep the other one on the wheel for a while until someone else. But maybe I'll consider adding that one. Okay, so anyway, John is up. Let's see, and then I'm on deck. I'll go after John, and John is going to do. All the world is stage. Act 2, Scene 7, about 15 lines in.
All the world's a stage. That's
as you like it. Act 2, Scene 7.
Act 2, Scene 7. Okay.
Okay.
All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and moderate instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning against toward childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history. His second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Okay, great. So Henry just joined us. He was supposed to go first, so I'll go ahead and have him do his monologue before I get into mine. Well, glad you made it, Henry. You will be doing Claudius, are my offenses ranked? It's Hamlet Act 3, Scene 3.
Okay, got it.
Okay, are you ready? Go ahead.
Is my volume okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. Oh, my offences rank and smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it, a brother's murder. Pray, can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will? My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offence? And what's in prayer but this twofold force to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardon being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past, but oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offence? In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft is seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling there. The action lies in his true nature. And we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our faults to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can, what can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Oh, wretched state! Oh, bosom black as death! Oh, limed soul that struggling to be free art more engaged! Help, angels! Make us say, bow stubborn knees and heart with strings of steel, be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have left the last three people to go, myself, then Robert, then Tim, and then we'll get into the scenes for the 8 of us. So my monologue is going to be... Rosalind, you foolish shepherd. Give me a second. Find that. Let's see. And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exult all at once over the wretched? What thought you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed? Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Odds my little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your check of cream that can entame my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her, like foggy south puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that makes the world full of ill-flavored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her. And out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees and thank heavens fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Sell when you can. Cry the man mercy. Love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well. Okay, that was fun. I've never done anything quite like that before. Robert, it's your turn. Lady Percy, Henry IV, Part 1, Act 2, Scene 3, about 35 lines in.
Okay.
Lady Percy.
This is Henry IV, Part 1. Which act and scene?
Act 2, Scene 3.
Okay, Warkworth Castle. So this is the speech, "Oh my good Lord, why art thou thus alone?"
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
"Oh my good Lord, why are you thus alone? For what offense have I this fortnight been a banished woman from my Harry's bed? Tell me, sweet Lord, what is't that takes from thee thy stomach pleasure and thy golden sleep? Why dost thou bend thine eyes upon the earth and start so often when thou sitt'st alone? Why hast thou lost the fresh blood in thy cheeks and given my treasures and my rights of thee to thick-eyed musing and cursed melancholy? In thy faint slumbers I by thee have watched, and heard thee murmur tales of iron wars, speak terms of manage to thy bounding steed, cry, 'Courage to the field!' And thou hast talked of sallies and retires, of trenches, tents, of palisadoes, frontiers, parapets, of basilisks, of cannon, culverin, of prisoners' ransom, and of soldiers slain, and all the currents of a heady fight. Thy spirit within thee hath been so at war, and thus hath so bestirred thee in thy sleep, that beads of sweat have stood upon thy brow, like bubbles in the late disturbed stream, and in thy face strange motions have appeared, such as we see when men restrain their breath on some great sudden pest. Oh, what portents are these? Some heavy business hath my lord in hand, and I must know it, else he loves me not. Scene.
Okay, nice. So before we start our matching up for scenes, we have our newest member, Tim, is going to perform, and he's going to do Bolingbroke, Bring Forth These Men, Richard II, Act 3, Scene 1.
3. Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Bring forth these men. Bushy and green, I will not vex your souls, since presently your souls must part your bodies. With too much urging, your pernicious lives were turned for no charity. Yet to wash your blood from off my hands, here, in the view of men, I will unfold some causes of your deaths. You have misled a prince, a royal king, a happy gentleman in blood and lineaments by you unhappied and disfigured clean. You have in manner with your sinful hours made a divorce twixt his queen and him, broke the possession of a royal bed, and stained the beauty of a fair queen's cheeks with tears drawn from her eyes by your foul wrongs. Myself, a prince by fortune of my birth, near to the king in blood, and near in love till you did make him misinterpret me, have stooped my neck under your injuries, and sighed my English breath in foreign clouds, eating the bitter bread of banishment, whilst you have fed upon my seigneuries, disparked my parks, and felled my forest woods, from mine own windows torn my household coat, raised out my impress, leaving me no sign save men's opinions and my living blood, to show the world I am a gentleman. This, and much more than twice all this, condemns you to the death. See them delivered over to execution in the hand of death.
Okay, great. So now we will let the wheel determine randomly some scenes that the 8 of us are going to choose, and we'll choose in the reverse order that we performed our monologues in. So the scenes that we need that we'll get for 8 players will be, okay, Richard III, Act 4, Scene 4. That's Queen Elizabeth and Richard. So Elizabeth and Richard and Richard III. Coriolanus, Act 4, Scene 5, Coriolanus and Ophidius. I think this is where they're trying to make an alliance with each other after they've been bitter enemies all their lives. Taming of the Shrew, Petruchio and Catherine. And Hamlet, the 2 gravediggers. Gravedigger 1 and 2. Great. We got a lot of variety here. So once again, the 8 roles. So the 8 roles to choose from, and we'll go in reverse order for getting your choices. We got the 2 gravediggers in Hamlet, Petruchio and Catherine in Taming of the Shrew, Act 2, Scene 1, Coriolanus and Ophidius in Coriolanus, Act 4, Scene 5, and then Richard III and the former Queen Elizabeth in Act 4, Scene 4 of Richard III. or wants to marry her daughter after he's killed her boys. Okay, so Tim will get the first choice amongst what would you like of those roles?
Oh my. I'll do Petruchio.
Okay. Tim will be Petruchio. Robert, what would you like?
I'll take Richard III.
Robert will be Richard. And it's my choice. Boy, that's tough. I'll take the first Gravedigger. And then Brandon, what would you like?
I'll take Elizabeth and Richard III.
Elizabeth. So the first scene will be Brandon and Robert. I'll keep you two in the stream. Bill, Bill, what would you like?
How about the second Gravedigger?
Okay. And Maggie, what would you like? We got Coriolanus, Ophidius, and Catherine left.
Oh, I thought I was just going to get whatever was left over. I'll take Coriolanus.
Okay.
Did you get John, or is he gone?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me see.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, I'll stick with that unless John wanted it, because John was supposed to go first.
Yeah.
John, which role did you want?
Hamlet is still available, correct?
No, myself and Bill are doing the two Gravediggers.
Oh. Isn't Hamlet in that scene?
No.
Okay.
Well, we're doing. This is just the part before Hamlet and Horatio enter.
I see. Okay.
It's either Coriolanus or Ophidius, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess Coriolanus then. I have no idea.
Okay. So he took Coriolanus. Did you want Ophidius in the same scene, Maggie, or Catherine?
I'm sorry, my internet went out for a second. I'm just assuming I'm getting whatever's left. Is that right?
You have a choice between being Ophidius to his Coriolanus or being Catherine.
Catherine.
Okay, so you'll be Catherine to Tim's Petruchio, and then that leaves Henry will be our Ophidius. So Henry, that close. So Henry's going to be Ophidius. So first we're going to do Brandon and Robert as Queen Elizabeth and Richard, then Henry and John as Coriolanus and Ophidius, then Tim and Maggie as Petruchio and Catherine, and then me and Bill as the two Gravediggers. So let's see, we have Brandon. So I got everybody out of the streams of Brandon and Robert. I'm going to create the banner. Have you both found the scene where to start from?
I guess we start off with my entrance on a flourish, trumpet, strike alarm.
Okay, is that cool with you, Brandon?
Yeah, it's flourish.
If either of you can't find your place, I'll skip to the next scene and we'll come back to you once you.
Okay, it's where is it? A flourish. Okay, I see.
Okay, you are ready. Okay, if you're ready,
patient, Richard, either be patient and treat me fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems the logical place to begin. Okay. A flourish, trumpets, strike alarm, drums. Let not the heavens hear these telltale women rail on the Lord's anointed. Strike, I say, either be patient and entreat me fair, or with the clamorous report of war, thus will I drown your exclamations.
Art thou my son?
I thank God, my father, and yourself.
Then patiently hear my impatience.
Madam, I have a touch of your condition, which cannot brook the accent of reproof.
Oh, let me speak.
Oh, do then, but I'll not hear.
I will be mild and gentle in my speech.
And brief, good mother, for I am in haste.
Art thou so hasty? I have stayed for thee, God knows, in anguish, pain, and agony.
And came I not at last to comfort you?
No, by the holy rod, thou knowest it well. They camest on earth to make the earth my hell. Grievous burthen was thy birth to me. Touchy and wayward was thy infancy. Thy school days frightful, desperate, wild, and furious. The prime of manhood, daring, bold, and venturous. The age confirmed, proud, subdued, bloody, treacherous, more mild, but yet more harmful, kind in hatred. What comfortable hour canst thou name that ever graced me in thy company?
Faith, none but Humphrey hour that called your grace to breakfast once forth of my company. If I be so disgracious in your sight, let me march on and not offend your grace. Strike the drum.
I pray thee, hear me speak.
You speak too bitterly.
Hear me a word, for I shall never speak to thee again.
So,
either thou wilt die by God's just ordinance, ere from this war thou turn a conqueror, or I with grief and extreme age shall perish, and never look upon thy face again. Therefore take with thee my most heavy curse, which in the day of battle tire thee more than all the complete armor that thou wearest. My prayers on the adverse party fight. Are there the little sounds of souls of Edward's children, and whisper the spirits of thine enemies and promise them success and victory? Bloody thou art. Bloody that will be thy end. Shame serves thy life, and doth death attend. Thou far more cause, yet much less spirit to curse, abides in me. I say amen to all.
stay, madam, I must speak a word with you.
I have no more sons of the royal blood for thee to murder. For my daughter, Richard, thou shalt be praying nuns, not weeping queens, and therefore level not to hit their lives.
You have a daughter called Elizabeth, virtuous and fair, royal and gracious.
She must die for this? Oh, let her live, and I'll corrupt her manners, stain her beauty, slander myself as false to Edward's bed, throw over her veil of infamy, or she may live unscarred, a bleeding slaughter. I will confess, she was not Edward's daughter.
Wrong not her birth. She is of royal blood.
To save her life, I'll say she is not so.
Life is safest only in her birth.
And only in that safety died her brothers.
Lo, at their births good stars were opposite.
No, to their lives bad friends were contrary.
All unavoided is the doom of destiny.
True, when avoided grace makes destiny. My babes were destined to a fairer death if grace had blessed thee with a fairer life.
You speak as if that I had slain my cousins.
Cousins, indeed, and by their uncle cousined. Oh, comfort, kingdom, kindred, freedom, life, whose hands soever lanced their tender hearts. Thy head all indirectly gave direction. No doubt the murderous knife was dull and blunt till it was whetted on thy stone hard heart to revel in the entrails of my lambs. But that shall still use of grief makes wild grief tame, my tongue shall do thy ears not name my boys, till that thy nails were I anchored in thy eyes. And I, in such a desperate bay of death, like a poor bark of sails and tackling reft, rush all to pieces on thy rocky bosom.
Madam, so thrive I in my enterprise and dangerous success of bloody wars, as I intend more good to you and yours than ever you or yours were by me wronged.
What good is covered with the face of heaven to be discovered that can do me good?
The advancement of your children, gentle lady.
Oh, up the scaffold, there to lose their heads.
To the dignity and height of honor, the high imperial type of this earth's glory.
Flatter my sorrows with report of it. Tell me, what state, what dignity, what honor canst thou demise to any child of mine?
Even all I have, yea, and myself, and all will I withal endow a child of thine, so in the lethe of thy angry soul, which thou drown the sad remembrance of those wrongs which thou supposest I have done to thee.
Be brief, lest that be process of thy kindness last longer telling than thine kindness's date.
That know that from my soul I love thy daughter.
My daughter's mother thinks it with her soul.
What do you think?
That thou dost love my daughter from thy soul. So from thy soul's love didst thou love her brothers. And from my heart's love, I do thank thee for it.
Be not so hasty to confound my meaning. I mean that with my soul I love thy daughter and mean to make her Queen of England.
Say then, who dost thou mean shall be her king?
Even he that makes her queen, who should be else?
What? Thou?
I, even I. What think you of it, madam?
How canst thou woo her?
That would I learn from you, as one best acquainted with her humor.
And wilt thou learn of me?
Madam, with all my heart.
Send her to me. By the man that slew her brothers, a pair of bleeding hearts, whereon engrave Edward and York, that haply she will weep, therefore present to her, as sometime Margaret did to thy father, steeped in Rutland's blood, a handkerchief, which, say to her, did drain the purple sap from her sweet brother's body, and bid her dry her weeping eyes therewith. If this inducement dry her not to love, send her a story of thy noble acts. Tell her thou maddest away her uncle Clarence, her uncle Rivers, yea, and for her sake maddest quick conveyance with her good Aunt Anne.
Come, you mock me. This is not the way to win our daughter.
There is no other way, unless thou couldst put on some other shape, and not be Richard that hath done all this.
Say that I did all this for love of her.
Nay, then indeed she cannot choose but hate thee, having brought love with such a bloody spoil.
Look, what is done cannot be now amended. Men shall deal unadvisedly sometimes, which after hours give leisure to repent. If I did take the kingdom from your sons to make amends, I'll give it to your daughter. If I have killed the issue of your womb to quicken your increase, I will beget mine issue of your blood upon your daughter. A grandam's name is little less in love than is the doting title of a mother. They are as children of one step below, even of your metal, of your very blood. Of one pain, save for a night of groans endured of her, for whom thou bid like sorrow, your children were vexation to their youth. But mine shall be a comfort to your age. The loss you have is but a son being king, and by that loss your daughter is made queen. I cannot make you amends, I would. Therefore, accept such kindness as I can. Dorset, your son, that with a fearful soul leads discontented steps in foreign soil, this fair alliance quickly shall call home to high promotions and great dignity. The king that calls your beauteous daughter wife familiarly shall call thy Dorset brother. Again shall you be mother to a king, and all the ruins of distressful times repaired with double riches of content. What we have many goodly days to see. The liquid drops of tears that you have shed shall come again, transformed to orient pearl, advantaging their loan with interest of 10 times double gain of happiness. Go then, my mother, to thy daughter go, make bold her bashful years with your experience, prepare her ears to hear a wooer's tale. Put in her tender heart the aspiring flame of golden sovereignty. Acquaint the princess with the sweet silent hours of marriage joys. And when this arm of mine hath chastised the petty rebel, dulled-brained Buckingham, bound with triumphant garlands will I come and lead thy daughter to a conqueror's bed, to whom I will retail my conquest won, and she shall be sole victress, Caesar's Caesar.
What were I best to say? Her father's brother would be her lord? Or shall I say her uncle? Or he that slew her brothers and her uncles? Under what title shall I woo for thee, that God the law my honor and her love can make seem pleasing to her tender years?
Infer fair England's peace by this alliance,
But she shall purchase with still lasting war,
that the king, which may command, entreats.
that at her hands which the king's king forbids.
Say she shall be a high and mighty queen.
Oh, to will the tide as her mother doth.
Say I will love her everlastingly.
But how long shall that title ever last?
Sweetly enforce unto her fair life's end.
But how long fairly shall her sweet lie last?
How so long as heaven and nature lengthens it.
Oh, so long as Helen Richard likes of it.
Say I, her sovereign, am her subject, love.
But she, your subject, loathes such sovereignty.
Be eloquent in my behalf to her.
An honest tale speeds best being plainly told.
And in plain terms, tell her my loving tale.
Plain and not honest is too harsh a style.
Your reasons are too shallow and too quick.
Oh no, my reasons are too deep and dead, poor infants in their graves.
Harp not on that string, madam, that is past.
Harp on it still shall I till heartstrings break.
Now, by my George, my garter and my crown,
Profaned, dishonored, and the third usurped.
I swear.
Nothing. For that is no oath. The George profaned hath lost his holy honor, the garter blemished, pawned his knightly virtue, the crown usurped, graced his kingly glory. If something thou wilt swear is to believed, swear then by something that thou hast not wronged.
Now, by the world,
'Tis full of thy foul wrongs.
my father's death,
Thy death hath that dishonored.
then by myself.
Thyself, misuses.
Well, why then, by God?
What wrong is most of all, if thou hast feared to break an oath by him, the unity the king thy brother made had not been broken, nor my brother slain, if thou hast feared to break an oath to by him. The imperial medal circling now thy brow had graced the tender temples of my child, and both the princes had been breathing here, which now two tender playfellows to dust thy broken faith had made a prey for worms. What canst thou swear by now?
The time to come.
thou hast wronged in the time or past. For I myself have many tears to wash ere after time, for time past wronged by thee. The children live whose parents hath been slaughtered, ungoverned youth to wail it in their age. The parents live whose children thou hast butchered. O withered plants to wail with their age, swear not by my time to come, for that has haste misused ere used by time misuse or past.
As I intend to prosper and repent, so thrive I in my dangerous attempt of hostile arms, myself confound. Heaven and fortune, bar me happy hours, day, yield me not thy light, nor night thy rest, be opposite all planets of good luck to my proceedings, if with pure heart's love, immaculate devotion, holy thoughts, I tender not thy beauteous princely daughter. In her consists my happiness and thine. Without her follows to this land and me, to thee, herself, and many a Christian soul, death, desolation, ruin, and decay. It cannot be avoided, but by this it will not be avoided, but by this. Therefore, good mother, I must call you so, be the attorney of my love to her, plead what I will be, not what I have been, not my deserts, but what I will deserve. Urge the necessity and state of times, and be not peevish, fond in great designs.
Shall I be tempted of the devil then?
Aye, if the devil tempt thee to do good.
Shall I forget myself to be myself?
Aye, if your self's remembrance wrong yourself.
But thou didst kill my children.
In your daughter's womb I bury them, where in that nest of spicery they shall breed selves of themselves to your recomforture.
Shall I go win my daughter to thy will?
And be a happy mother by the deed.
I go. Write to me very shortly, and you shall understand from me her mind.
Bear her my true love's kiss, and so farewell. Relenting fool and shallow changing woman. Scene.
Whoa, that was great. I mean, it's a long scene, but it was still just you both kept me really enthralled. It was just I won't say chemistry. I get maybe negative or enmity chemistry. It was just great between the two of you. That was awesome. So anyway, we're now to Coriolanus and Aufidius. That is, what is it? John and Henry. Okay, so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Whence comest thou? What wouldst thou? Thy name? Why speak'st not? Speak, man, what's thy name?
If Tullus, not yet thou knowest me, and seeing me dost thou not think me for the man I am? Necessity commands me name myself.
What is thy name?
A name unmusical to the Volscian ears, and harsh in sound to thine.
Say, what's thy name? Thou hast a grim appearance, and thy face bears a command in it. Though thy tackle's torn, thou show'st a noble vessel. What's thy name?
Prepare thy brow to frown. Know'st thou me yet?
I know thee not. Thy name?
My name is Caius Musius, who hath done to thee particularly and to all the Volsces great hurt and mischief. Thereto to witness my surname Coriolanus, the painful service, the extreme dangers and drops of blood shed from my thankless country or requited, but with that surname, a good memory, and witness of the malice and displeasure which thou shouldst bear me. Only that name remains. The cruelty and envy of the people permitted by our dastard nobles, who have all forsook me, hath devoured the rest, and suffered me by the voice of slaves to be whooped out of Rome. Now this extremity hath brought me to thy hearth, not out of hope, mistake me not, to save my life. For if I had feared death, of all the men of the world I would have avoided thee. But in mere spite, to be full quit of those my banishers, stand I before thee here. Then, if thou hast a heart of wreak in thee, that wilt revenge thine own particular wrongs and stop these maims of shame seen through my country, speed thee straight, and make my misery serve thy turn. So use it that my revengeful services may prove as benefits to thee. For I will fight against my cankered country with the spleen of all the under fiends. But if so be thou darest not this, and that to prove more fortunes, though tired, then, in a word, I also am longer to live most weary, and present my throat to thee and to thy ancient malice, which not to cut would show thee but a fool, since I have ever followed thee with hate, drawn tons of blood out of thy country's breast, and cannot live but to thy shame, unless it be to do thee service.
Oh, Marcius, Marcius, each word thou hast spoke hath weeded from my heart a root of ancient envy. If Jupiter should from yond cloud speak divine things and say 'tis true, I'll not believe them more than thee, all noble Marcius. Let me twine mine arms about that body, where against my grained ash 100 times hath broken scarred the moon with splinters. Here I clip the anvil of my sword, and do contest as hotly and as nobly with thy love, as ever in ambitious strength I did contend against thy valour. Know thou first I loved the maid I married, never man sighed truer breath. But that I see thee here, thou noble thing, more dances my rapt heart than when I first my wedded mistress saw bestride my threshold. Why, thou Mars, I tell thee we have a power on foot, and I had purpose once more to hew thy target from thy brawn, or lose mine arm for't. Thou hast beat me out 12 several times, and I have nightly since dreamt of encounters twixt thyself and me. We have been down together in my sleep, unbuckling helms, fisting each other's throat, and waked half dead with nothing. Worthy Marcius, had we no quarrel else to Rome, but that thou art thence banished, we would muster all from 12 to 70, and pouring war into the bowels of ungrateful Rome like a bold flood or bear. Oh, come, go in and take our friendly senators by the hands, who now are here taking their leaves of me, who am prepared against your territories, though not for Rome itself.
You bless me, gods.
Therefore, most absolute sir, if thou wilt have the leading of thine own revenges, take the 1/2 of my commission, and set down, as best thou art experienced, since thou knowest thy country's strength and weakness, thine own ways, whether to knock against the gates of Rome, or rudely visit them in parts remote to fright them ere destroy them. But come in, let me commend thee first to those that shall say yea to thy desires. 1,000 welcomes, and more a friend than e'er an enemy. Yet, Marcius, that was much. Your hand, most welcome.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so now we have, let's see, our king of the shrew scene. We have Tim and Maggie to be Petruchio and Catherine.
Because I haven't.
Okay,
Okay.
so you're ready to go?
Sorry about that. Okay. Yes, I am.
Okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Good morrow, Kate. Well, that's your name, I hear.
Well, have you heard but something hard of hearing? They call me Catherine that do talk to me.
You lie in faith, for you are called plain Kate and bonny Kate, and sometimes Kate the cursed, but Kate the prettiest Kate in Christendom. It's Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate, for dainties are all Kates, and therefore, Kate, take this of me, Kate of my consolation, hearing thy mildness praised in every town, thy virtues spoke of, and thy beauty sounded, yet not so deeply as to thee belongs. Myself am moved to woo thee for my wife.
Moved in good time. Let him that moved you hither remove you hence. I knew you at the first you were a movable.
Why, what's a movable?
A joined stool.
Thou hast hit it. Come, sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as you, if me you mean.
Alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee for knowing thee, but to be young and light.
Too light for such a swain as you to catch, and yet as heavy as my weight should be.
Should buzz.
Well ta'en, and like a buzzard.
Oh, slow-winged turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
Aye, for a turtle, as he takes a buzzard.
Come, you wasp, but faith, you are too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy, then, is to pluck it out.
Aye, if the fool could find it where it lies.
Who knows not where a wasp does wear his sting? In his tail.
In his tongue.
Whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tails, and so farewell.
What, with my tongue in your tail? Nay, come again, good Kate. I am a gentleman.
That I'll try.
Oh. I swear I'll cuff you if you strike again.
So you may lose your arms. If you strike me, you are no gentleman. And if no gentleman, why then no arms.
A herald, Kate. Oh, put me in thy books.
What is your crest? A coxcomb?
A combless cock, so Kate will be my hen.
No cock of mine. You crow too like a craven.
Nay, come, Kate, come. You must not look so sour.
It is my fashion when I see a crab.
Why, here's no crab, and therefore look not sour.
There is.
Well, then show it me.
Had I a glass, I would.
What, you mean my face?
Well aimed of such a young one.
Now, by St. George, I am too young for you.
Yet you are withered.
'Tis with cares.
I care not.
Nay, hear you, Kate, in sooth you scape not so.
I chafe you if I tarry. Let me go.
No, not a whit. I find you passing gentle. 'Twas told me you were rough and soy and cullen, and now I find report a very liar. For thou art pleasant, gamesome, passing courteous, but slow in speech, yet sweet as springtime flowers. Thou canst not frown, thou canst not look askance, nor bite the lip as angry wenches will, nor hast thou pleasure to be cross in talk, but thou with mildness entertainst thy wooers, with gentle conference, soft and affable. Why does the world report that Kate doth limp? Oh, slanderous world! Kate, like the hazel twig, is straight and slender, and as brown in hue as hazelnuts, and sweeter than the kernels. Oh, let me see thee walk. Thou dost not halt.
Go, fool, and whom thou keep'st command.
Did ever Dian so become a grove as Kate, this chamber with her princely gate? Oh, be thou Dian, and let her be Kate, and then let Kate be chaste, and Dian sportful.
Where did you study all this goodly speech?
Well, it is extempore from my mother wit.
A witty mother, witless else her son.
Am I not wise?
Yes, keep you warm.
Marry, so I mean, sweet Katharina, in thy bed. And therefore, setting all this chat aside, thus in plain terms, your father hath consented that you shall be my wife. your dowry agreed on, and will you, nill you, Kate, I will marry you. Now, Kate, I am a husband for your turn, for by this light whereby I see thy beauty that doth make me like thee well, thou must be married to no man but me. For I am born to tame you, Kate, and bring you from a wild Kate to a Kate conformable as other household Kates. Here comes your father. Never make denial. I must and will have Katharina to my wife. See.
Okay, awesome. We're having a lot of fun with the scenes today. That this is better than usual. I can't keep thinking the word chemistry, but I don't know if there's a word for negative or enmity version of chemistry. But the interaction between it, not just the delivery of the lines, but the actual. Even though we're miles apart and only meeting on the internet, it's usually hard. But despite that, everybody that's gone so far in scenes, I've really been impressed with how you've been able to, even from a distance, to show the interaction with each other. The like with what we just saw, the choreographing one character being hit by the other from a distance, doing it and actually reacting to it. I thought that was great. So we're doing great with the scenes today. And so lastly, we'll finish with myself and Bill as the two clown gravediggers. And we ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell me she is, and therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be, unless she be drowned herself in her own defense?
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be, heaven offendero, it cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act. And an act hath three branches. It is to act, to do, to perform. Argal, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, Goodman Delver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is, will he, nill he goes. Mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argal, he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
Aye, marry it is. Crowner's quest law.
Well, you have the truth on. If this had not been a gentlewoman, she would have been buried out of Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest. And the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves, more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade, there is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and gravemakers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
He was the first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none.
What? Art thou a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says, Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Go to.
What is he that builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well, in good faith. The gallows does well. But how does it well? It does well to those that do in. Now, thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argal, the gallows may do well to thee. To it again, come.
Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, and a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that, and unyoke.
Mary, now I can tell.
To it.
Mass, I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend his pace with beating. And when you are asked this question next, say a grave maker. The houses that he makes last till doomsday. Go, get thee to yon. Fetch me a stoup of liquor. In youth, when I did I love, methought it was very sweet to contract o' the time for awe me behove, o' methought there was nothing meet. Okay. So great performances today, everybody. We're glad that you showed up. Tim was a great new addition to our group. We hope he had fun, and we hope he will return in the future. And people watching, don't forget, tune in the same time next week, every Saturday at noon Pacific time on this channel. Don't miss the Wheel of Shakespeare every Saturday. I'll see you next Saturday. Bye now.